Hi there all, and welcome down to episode 7 of this Landlord Series, in which we are doing 10 episodes and talking through the changes which are coming in the Renters' Right Act in May this year. If you haven't watched any of the videos before this, then please do watch this one and then watch the other ones, in which myself and Paul went through some fairly meaty subjects over the last 6 episodes now. So, episode 7. Increased powers to local authorities and increased fees and fines. Increased fines. Paul, talk us through it, because this is a complete change of tack, and one in which there hasn't really been a drive in some ways to fine landlords over the last few years. Whereas now it is going to be something where, pushing over to the local authorities, and they get benefits directly from it, basically.
This is, from my perspective, the scariest part of the legislation, and the reason we do these things, and the webinars, and the tenancy health checks to try and help landlords, because these fines can come in for basic administrative errors. Which we'll talk about in a moment. But so it all started on the 27th of December last year. We were just getting over stuff in our faces with Turkey, and the local authorities had to report to government on the actions that they would be taking in order to proactively enforce the Act. And I think that's the difference. Pre-Renters' Rights Act, there's lots of legislation in place, there's HHSRS, so on and so forth, but they are reactive management. So what we mean by that is that a tenant would refer a maintenance issue to the local authority, the environmental health officer would go down, and they would then communicate with the landlord, serve a works order to get the work done. That's a reactive approach. So it requires the tenant to make that initial step. With the Renters' Rights Act, what the government want to see is how the local authorities are going to proactively enforce the legislation. Now, in order to do that, they've had, I think it was £18.4 million worth of funding from central government to all the local authorities to beef up their systems and processes. But they have been given some quite scary powers. And some of those powers are the fact that they have the right to access premises. So, give an example, they can access our premises, they can take laptops away, they can take files away, they can access landlord's premises, they can access landlord's accountant's premises, they can access the premises of the property as well, in a bid to evidence that there has been a breach. And this is not, you don't have to have the evidence first in order to have the access, you need to have the suspicion. So that in itself is quite scary. And what it means is that now landlords need to evidence everything, and it is very much worked on the basis, if there's no evidence, it didn't take place. So, give you an example, the new government leaflet. We've just sent out over 1,500 of them. My fingers are sore from folding. But if you don't evidence that you've issued that leaflet correctly, the assumption is you didn't do it. And therefore that then carries the £7,000 fine. And it's important to add here, this is the starting grid. £7,000 goes up to £40,000 for repeated or serious breaches of the Act. So it's not a case of a landlord has allowed a property to go into disrepair, gutters are falling off, sinks are falling off the wall. It could be a little thing like, I didn't serve the leaflet. Or I didn't keep a copy of the letter showing I served the leaflet. £7,000 fine. You then have the addition of rent repayment orders. Now, they already exist. But what the government have done as part of the Act is they've extended the rent repayment order period from 12 to 24 months. And what a rent repayment order is essentially something, if there's been a breach, the tenant, under certain terms, and it's all listed on the government website, the tenant has the right to request an element of the rent is repaid to the tenant by the landlord under the rent repayment order. Now, what's going to happen is the local authority now have the power to claim rent repayment orders on behalf of tenants and certainly assist tenants. They've just released more updated information for tenants, in which they talk about rent repayment orders, because not a lot of tenants understand what this is or how it works. They now have guidance on how they can claim a rent repayment order and under which circumstances. So, yeah, it's quite. What I think what scares us more than anything is that you don't have to be a landlord to all of a sudden find yourself in deep water. Just not sending a simple letter could create you a considerable financial problem. So,
has there been? I know that it was the 27th of December where they were kind of given these powers.
Yes.
Have there been any cases in which these fines or anything they've actually started to kind of flex their muscles as of yet, Paul? Have we heard of any? I haven't.
I'm not aware of, but I think what's going to happen is there's 3 phases to this act, isn't there? And the latter part of this year, there's going to be what they call the PRS database.
Don't talk about it too much.
That's a video coming.
That's
well,
that's in episode 11.
Watch episode 11 because that links back to this. But yes, I'm not aware of, but I think the clock is ticking.
Okay. Episode 10, actually, not 11, because there isn't 11 episodes.
Oh, yes, it's a 10-episode series. 10. Yeah, that's a bonus one.
But anyway, thanks for watching this episode, guys. Please do remember to like and subscribe. Anything else to add on this one?
Nope.
But it really is a scary thing.
Other than just make sure your admin, you need to get your admin sorted 100%.
Absolutely. And I say, please do like and subscribe, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.